The world didn't merely stumble into World War I, it hurtled into it, dragged screaming by the momentum of ambition, vengeance, nationalism, and a single gunshot that shattered the fragile peace of Europe. The moment Gavrilo Princip squeezed the trigger in Sarajevo, history's course didn't just bend, it broke. What followed wasn't simply a war, it was a catastrophic unraveling of everything the modern world believed it had achieved. Civilization, order, diplomacy, all drowned in trenches filled with blood, mud, and the shattered dreams of empires. Yet to truly understand how the world's first global war erupted, we must rewind the clock, not just to that summer day in 1914, but decades earlier to the toxic stew of alliances, secrets, and resentments that turned a regional crisis into an apocalyptic inferno. Austria-Hungary was a decaying empire, more a patchwork quilt of resentful ethnicities than a unified nation. Franz Ferdinand, the heir to this fragile empire, was seen as a threat not because he wanted war, but because he wanted peace. He aimed to restructure the empire, granting more autonomy to its Slavic regions, which ironically made him an enemy of Serbian nationalists, who feared that his reforms would dissolve their dream of a greater Serbian state. The Black Hand, a clandestine terrorist group of military officers and radicals, saw him as the final obstacle in their path. They didn't just want to send a message, they wanted to light a fire. June 28, 1914. It was the anniversary of the Battle of Kosovo, a sacred date for Serbians, symbolizing resistance and martyrdom. Franz Ferdinand chose that very day to visit Sarajevo with his wife Sophie. It was a tone-deaf move, almost begging for trouble. The Archduke's motorcade route was published in advance, another blunder. As they drove through the city in an open-top car, 6 assassins took their position. The first threw a grenade which missed Franz's car and injured bystanders. Panic erupted. The motorcade sped off. Everyone thought the danger had passed. But destiny wasn't done yet. Gavrilo Princip had failed. He wandered off, angry and defeated, stopping at a small cafe for a sandwich. Meanwhile, the Archduke, shaken but determined to visit the wounded from the earlier attack, took a new route. No one informed the driver. He turned the corner right onto the street where Princip was eating. It was the cruelest twist of fate. Princip saw the car stop just meters in front of him. Without hesitation, he drew his pistol. 2 shots. One struck Franz Ferdinand in the neck, the other hit Sophie in the stomach. Both died within minutes in each other's arms. The world would mourn them, but it wouldn't stop there. What should have been a localized tragedy turned into a global cataclysm, because Europe at that point was a loaded gun. Alliances had created a network so dense and volatile that a conflict between 2 countries would inevitably pull everyone else in. Austria-Hungary, with Germany's backing, issued a list of humiliating demands to Serbia. Serbia accepted most but not all. That was enough. War was declared. Russia mobilized to protect Serbia. Germany, fearing encirclement, declared war on Russia. Then France. Germany invaded neutral Belgium to get to France, violating treaties. Britain, bound to defend Belgian neutrality, declared war on Germany. And just like that, the great powers of Europe marched to war, convinced they'd be home by Christmas. Instead, they were walking into hell. The early months were full of patriotic fervor. Young men rushed to enlist, dreaming of medals and glory. They were met with machine guns and poison gas. The Western Front froze into a stalemate, stretching from the North Sea to the Swiss border. Trenches became tombs. Men lived among rats, corpses, and the constant thunder of shell fire. Every inch of land was paid for with thousands of lives. The Battle of the Somme alone saw over 1 million casualties. Entire generations were ground into the dirt. Heroism gave way to horror. And the horror wasn't confined to Europe. The war spilled across continents. Hit that subscribe button now and join us as we uncover the blood-soaked truths your textbooks never dared to reveal.